What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to go over the best, in my opinion, the best controller settings for Arc Raiders. And yes, I am on PC. I've played on console and on PC. I've played the tech test in this, and as far as I know, and remember, everything feels the exact same, so this will work for when the game releases. If not, I'll put it in the comments once the game releases. I'll be playing it a ton, so you can always follow me over on Twitch and see what I'm up to. I do want to just point out, like, I am on PC playing controller, and I'm going to thug it out on controller just because that's what I've played on my whole life, but I definitely recommend playing on M&K if you can. The issues that I have with controller is it feels very like delayed. I spent literally this whole test and the whole tech test and the whole server slam right now messing around with different settings, wanted to get out the best, what I feel are truly the best possible. And I'm not going to go over the graphics and all that, even though if you want to see them, I will glance over real quick. I feel like that's completely personal to you, but down to the controller stuff. Aim assist on, I played with it off at one point as well. Honestly, doesn't feel like there's much aim assist in this game, but that's personal preference, but I definitely recommend having it on just for that little boost. For the horizontal sensitivity, I go with 100, which I know for some people might be a little high, but for me, I feel like having that base sensitivity, also I've heard a lot of people say it's pretty low too, but I feel like having a decent sensitivity where it's not too high, not too low, like I can track people when they're running full speed, and that's really all the faster I need to go. I can go even a little bit faster if I need to, and I don't want to go. There's no sense in going too high because then it's just you're over dragging it way too much. Especially because this game is very dependent on, like, you gotta kind of stand still when you're shooting. You can't like be shooting while you're rolling. You can hardly shoot when you're sliding. Can't shoot while you're falling. So most of the times you're gonna be standing still. So I just find these. I guess it's personal preference if it's lower or higher, but I just find these senses a little bit better. And I did, however, I do have 110, and the vertical I feel like you can mess around with a little bit more, but this is what felt best to me. The zoom sensitivity multiplier, I put that up to 45. I think default it's like 35, but I just felt like I wanted a lower sense. I wanted a fast enough sense to where I can look around and like pan left and right while I'm sprinting and I'll have it screw up my momentum, as well as I want to make sure when I ADS'd I could keep up with people as well and not have to worry about it all. So this is like the perfect balance. It feels good. Scope zoom, there's not many scoped weapons right now, so honestly this I don't have an answer for it, but 50 felt good with the Osprey that is in the game. That's what I ended up coming up with for that, which I think is default. And then the response curve, I highly recommend linear. Like I said, it feels like there's a inner dead zone like right below linear. I feel like there's a dead zone in general, like even when that's 0, because I have a little bit of stick drift on every other game I play except for this one, even when it's at dead 0. And I have Steam everything, everything's 0, so it's all good there. And also all these settings are same on console. I have copy and paste on console to PC. But yeah, definitely recommend linear. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. That one just makes it feel a little draggy, and this one feels it just feels very stiff compared to linear. Linear feels very raw. And also for consistent aiming, I highly recommend copying and pasting all these settings. Like, this looks like I'm just zeroing everything out, but look boost isn't instant activated no matter what. Ramp up time is how long it takes to ramp up, so you can put it on 0 assuming that the look boost would be instant, but at that point you might as well just up your sensitivity, in my opinion. This is just a way to keep your aim consistent, so eventually over time with enough practice you'll eventually get the rhythm down and be able to consistently flick your crosshair to where you're hoping for it to be. And the reason why I don't have any what's the other thing that I'm looking for here? No, I guess it's oh yeah, up here. So now interact, reload, behavior. I personally feel like having tap for either is best, just to prevent, like, there's so many times playing on prioritize interact where I go to reload and it starts looting something right in front of me, which is super annoying. But I will say it mainly only happens with like the single shot weapons like the Pharaoh or the Anvil or the shotgun. And I will say, like, all you got to do is press R2, the shoot button, and it'll retry to shoot and all that stuff. And I also wanted to go over, now that we're done with the sensitivity, I want to go over my buttons. Now this is pretty important too. The goal is to keep the thumb on the right joystick as much as possible. I know that's probably basics for everybody, but just in case. And the settings that I have, I mean, you can see all the buttons right in the middle of the screen. I'll move my face cam real quick so you can see them a little bit better. So I have emote, up arrow, flashlight, right, push to talk down, but I personally just have my mic. I have push to talk always on. I just unmute this. Melee left. You can't change these right now. I'm sure you'll be able to once the actual game comes out. And maybe that drag, like that extra input delay, I feel, will come out. And I have an overclocked roller and everything, so like I know 100% it's not just me. All my roller buddies been telling me the same thing. Obviously, I'll just let you read them, and then I'll tell you the juicy details once you get what you need from there. And sorry my overlays, but this is push to talk. This one's melee. R3 is shoulder swap toggle. Now this is where it's going to get slightly confusing for some people, and I'll kind of explain. This is for if you have paddles. So this is what I rock just normal that I was just showing. Now if you have paddles, which I happen to have paddles, and I've tested this with or without paddles, this is just the default is all you can use right now. But even if I couldn't, I can adjust my controller however, right? Since I have a DualSense Edge. And I don't know how you do this on PC with Xbox, but if you have DualSense, just download the PlayStation Accessories app. You should literally be able to Google it. Depending on when this video goes out, I'll put a link down in the description. If not, just comment asking for it. I check my comments a lot. I'll link under the comment. But this is my button layout. So really the only difference is I have my X and R3 swapped just by default. I just find that more comfortable. Normally jump is X, so I like to be able to jump and do what I got to do there with X. Circle, now when it comes, and that's the only thing I have different about all the controls. So when it comes to the paddles, so they actually, pause, sorry I'm like sidetracked. I actually think they did a really great job with the controls for controller. This is like the least I've had to fiddle with a lot of controls, even though I definitely had to fiddle with it a little bit. But anyway, so circle, I have that as a paddle. That's rolling, dodging, sliding, all that stuff. I feel like that's very important. And I personally feel like having your joystick click in as your jump is really important too. Just because that's pretty good. Interact is square, I believe. Which that there, I wouldn't mind having a paddle. If you have a bunch of paddles, I'd probably put that on just to keep your thumb on the joystick as much as possible. But really, I find it fine with that being reload. I'm not aiming at someone when I'm reloading anyway. And then the other very important thing is R3, which at this point is the so X is your swap shoulder, right, in game. So I have that swapped to R3. You know, I have these two swapped. So this is technically R3 now. I'm just trying to break it down because I know it confuses a lot of people in stream. So sorry for over explaining. So then the paddle's set to R3. So this is basically my look over the shoulder. And the point of that is there's a lot of situations where you're chasing somebody and say they dip behind this bot, or yeah, say they dip behind this right here, right? And normally I'm running up this way, they dip behind and I can just keep my thumb on, you know what I mean? And keep like switching. Like if they pop out the other side, like I can't tell you how many fights that's won me. Like people just don't expect it. And obviously as people get better, you know, they'll expect it and stuff like that. M&K players, I personally feel like have a huge advantage in this game. So it's not going to be easy being on control. But these definitely by far are the best sensitivity and controllers. I might put in some gameplay after this. I don't really know. I might just keep it short and simple. I tried to get to the point. I know a lot of people don't like watching a 10-minute video, a 20-minute video, learning 10 minutes worth of information, you know. And I definitely gave explanations for everything. So hopefully this helps. If you guys have any questions down in the comments, want any in-depth, I'll go into everything. If you want, let me know down in the comments below. Appreciate every single one of you guys. I stream every day on Twitch, not to shamelessly promote on the YouTube Tip and Trick video, but appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys mean the world, and hope you guys have a great rest of your morning, night, evening, whatever it may be. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.